Hey gangs, welcome back to another episode of Talking eBay. Yes, today is December 15th, 2023, and yes, the year is almost over, another half a month, and it's pretty much done. So how is everyone doing? Hope you're having a great eBay day. So what's new with you this week? With me, it's been pretty good. Sales have been pretty brisk. Moving right along, no issues whatsoever. I've been pretty happy with the way things are moving. Things are moving along nicely. Had a couple of questions that people did ask me on my YouTube channel on Talking eBay on YouTube. A couple different questions just want to go over with you when you're shooting video or taking photos with your phone. What's the best way to hold your phone, horizontal or vertical, when it comes to video? Well, that's a really good question because a lot of times you can do, people think, everyone's in a vertical world because of TikTok and all these different things and shorts and, everyone's on their mobile phone. So you would necessarily think that vertical is the right way. Or is it horizontal? Are people looking on their computers? Are they searching at home? What's happening? What's the best way to shoot video? If you're going to make a video for eBay, what's the best way of doing it? Well, my suggestion is horizontal. The reason why is because the format is really set up, and you can do either way. It doesn't matter, honestly. I've done both ways. I think with the horizontal, you get more screen. The way eBay is set up on desktop, even on the phone, it doesn't take advantage of the vertical format. It's really designed for horizontal, like a TV. So that's how it's set up that way. So I would definitely recommend anything you shoot could be horizontal. You can do vertical, but if you do vertical, it looks a little compressed. It looks small. So I definitely do the horizontal. You get the maximum amount of screen space. And that's really important when you're describing something. So how long should your video be and what should you say? So those are really two good questions. So when I make a video, okay, for me personally, I try to keep them under 2 minutes long, maybe 3. It depends on the product. Naturally, if you're just talking about a product and you're going over the features and benefits and how it works, if the video is 5 minutes long, it doesn't matter if it's engaging. You're not selling, you're just displaying or showing or teaching, right? So people are interested. So when they're watching your video, they're engaged, they're watching it. I've had videos 30 seconds, I've had videos 8 minutes. It really, really depends on the product. So that's really kind of a question that depends on the product. So let's say, for instance, I'm showing a computer. There isn't too much. You can boot it up, you can show the screen, show it working, show the battery, always show all like when you take photos of your products, do the same thing with your video. Show all the scenes, show the back, show the front, show the serial number. People want to see these things because when they're buying your product, they want to feel convinced. It's really designed to do that. It helps. It's a certain word they use in retail. Okay. So when you're out shopping, like the A company, we won't say their name, but the A company that everybody buys from, right? It's called reduce resistance. So reduced resistance means when you take away all the resistance, I can buy it, free shipping. I can return it, free shipping. I see the video. I know what it is. There's no commitment. There's just no way I can lose any money. When you take away all that friction, you get a better conversion rate. So it's all about conversion. So you're going to use that video to help you convert people from a browser to a buyer. And that's why video is so important. So take your time, make a video, put your camera or a video camera, whatever you're using. I recommend using a phone. It's super easy. Put it on a tripod and just let it go and talk about the product naturally, slowly. Get a wireless microphone if your audio's not good. They're not expensive. You can get one for $20. It doesn't matter. And make a good video. Describe the product because people want to see what it is. That's really the secret. Honestly, take away the friction. Think about that. Okay, so you don't offer free shipping, and I don't on most of my products. So you don't have to. I think with shipping, especially for used items or something that's really highly sought after, people don't care as much as a pair of socks. So, okay, you can charge shipping. I give myself all my listings a very good return policy, 60 days, no questions asked. You can return it. And if it's something that's nothing wrong with it, they will pay the shipping. if there's something's wrong with the item, or they'll come up to say it's not as described to get around that. And you can kind of deal with that on case to case basis. If you listen to my last podcast, you'll hear a couple episodes, one or two back, that had a couple of returns, and you just deal with it. That's just the way it is. So you take your time and you describe the item. The idea is to take away the resistance. Now, I take these videos, I also post them on Facebook. So I had a customer the other day, not a customer, client, customer, whatever, and they said to me, I loved your presentation and you gave me so much information on the video. I just had a couple of questions. So what did I do with that video? I basically took away a lot of their concerns. They were concerned if it worked. They were concerned if it turned on. If they were concerned, does it really do what it's supposed to do? If you show them all these things in the video, it takes away all that friction, all that resistance, right? Because resistance will stop people from buying. Price, things like that stop people from buying. But if they're looking and you make a good video, it really makes a huge difference. So take your time, make the video, use your phone, and definitely take your time, because people want to see the inside, the outside. Turn it on, shut it off. If there's lights, turn the lights on, turn the lights off. It makes a difference. People want to see it, especially expensive things. I mean, I want to see it. I know you want to see it, right? I mean, this is why it's so important for video. It's really probably one of the biggest things out there that you should take advantage of when you're making a listing on eBay. If it's video worthy, definitely do it. If it's an animation, if it's a toy, something for holidays, something for Halloween. Right? Halloween's huge, right? All those crazy sounds and everything. You've got to make a video, right? I mean, people love that stuff. The conversion rate is definitely like 3 times. I don't really know if there's any data on eBay at all regarding conversion rate, as far as with video, without video. That'd be interesting to find out. I'll look into that. So stay tuned. Follow me on this podcast. And if you have any questions at all, definitely check out my YouTube channel called Talking eBay, and we do all types of tutorials. These podcasts get pushed there as well, so you can listen there. You can listen on all the major outlets for my podcast. Everything is everywhere. So just Google Talking eBay podcast, and I'll pop up everywhere. So if you have a question and any other question, you can just email me at talkingebay23@gmail.com. Again, that's talkingebay23@gmail.com. And you can answer your questions. If you have anything at all, go to my Talking eBay YouTube channel. There's a link there for email. So if you have any questions or any comments, and don't forget to subscribe to that channel. It's a really helpful channel. So I'm doing a few more videos up there as well, and give you a little tutorials, and also give you my year-end synopsis of the whole year. How did you do this year? How did you feel? Are you getting ready for your taxes? Are you getting ready to close out your year? We're doing that right now. Actually, we're buying a few more products. I picked up a it's a backup DAS system, DAS. That's for direct access something systems, I guess. So basically, I hook it up directly to my computer, and it backs up all my files. So when I create files for YouTube, I create files for my podcast, and create my files for eBay. Everything goes on there and gets backed up. So that's a cool thing. I just purchased that online. And just this time of the year to just, really just figure out what you need for computers and phones. And this is the best time of year because you need those write-offs. Makes a really big difference. So this week was a good week. Like I said, everything was going well. I did a bunch of listings. I found some tools that I had hanging around from years ago. I used to work on cars all the time, and I don't work on these cars anymore because they're older cars. And so I took all these tools and I put them on eBay, and they were good money. I mean, each one of them was $20, $25 sitting in my basement for the last 20 years, just getting dirty and rusty. I said, hey, turn this trash into, cash, right? So I listed like $150 worth of tools that were just going to sit there. Now, if I put them in a yard sale, I would have got like $1 a piece, right? Because nobody wants to pay you anything at a yard sale. I'll give you $1, right? So I put them on eBay, 15, 20, 25 bucks a piece. Some of them are unique, some are different, and some are just cheap, whatever. It doesn't matter. The thing is, when you're on eBay, you can put a lot of things on there and have a lot of opportunity that you don't think that are worth money. So do the research. That's why you go to my Talking eBay YouTube channel, and I'll just teach you how to use TerraPeak, how to search eBay, get the right price, and figure things out. Now, the other day, I made a really big mistake, and it's my own fault. Sometimes I just, my partner, my wife, she doesn't just give me a hard time about it, but she'll say, you listed this incorrectly, do the research better. And sometimes she's right. Sometimes I'm just tired. I'm doing a lot of different things and I made a mistake. So I picked up this lot of pocket watches and I made this video online and you'll see the video and I listed it really too cheap. And it was like 10 watches for like $30. So that's $3.30 delivered, which wasn't bad. Most of them were modern and junky and they were worth like 10, $15. Okay. But there was two of them that were worth really good money. So one of them was a Sesame Street a limited edition fossil watch, which I put that on for like $100, which is about right. Hasn't sold yet, but that's okay. And then there was another one, and it looked like a junky watch. I'm saying, it looks like a cheap watch, but it's from the 50s and 60s, but it ran. And I did the research, and I didn't do the research correctly. Even me, who's seasoned, I was just tired, and I put this watch on for like, and I couldn't. I saw listings for like $20, $25, and broke in $15. I said, well, it's not really worth a ton. I'll put it on for $25 plus $8 shipping. That's great. So okay, I put that on during the afternoon. 9 o'clock at night, cha-ching, this watch sold. So I get a call. I think you put it on too cheap. I said, what do you mean? She goes, yeah, I did some research. It's worth about $90. What are you doing? I said, are you sure? She goes, yeah. I said, oh, Jesus. So hard lesson learned. I basically gave away this watch for nothing. And I was kind of heartbroken about that because that was really like, that's a lot of money to lose because I kind of rushed and I didn't do the right research. I didn't hit a certain button to get the right data. Or, eBay's really funny. If you don't put the right words in, it's not like Google. It'll pick up different words. It's very specific. They changed their search criteria a lot on eBay, and it's very specific. If you put in a hot tamale sandwich in, okay, and someone else puts in a hot tamale sandwich, I don't know how to explain this to you, a hot tamale sandwich ready to go. And so you would think a hot tamale sandwich and a hot tamale sandwich ready to go would both come up because the word hot tamale sandwich is in there. But no, eBay is very, very specific. So the hot tamale sandwich will come up, but the hot tamale sandwich ready to go will not come up. It's that crazy, the system they're using. And they changed this a few years back, and it really just drove everybody crazy because of item specifics and the titling and all that kind of stuff. And it just, so if you don't put the exact keywords in, so I didn't put in blackface, I didn't put in certain keywords because I just was rushing. And those keywords brought up watches for $80, $90. And I did that one or two words. Even though I put in the same watch, I didn't put it in the right way. And that lost me $60 because I didn't put it in the right way. So there's still, even me, I'm still learning. She's really good at it because she does it all the time. She's just like, you got to do this way. And she's actually teaching me even because she really, she understands the algorithm with eBay. And we're going to have a guest. We're going to do it together. We're going to have a husband and wife show and a podcast in a few weeks. We're still kind of just getting ready with the taxes and getting stuff. So we're going to do a husband and wife. We've been in business for forever. We've been working together for about 38 years, believe it or not. I mean, we got married very, very young. And ever since, we've always worked together as an entrepreneur, both of us. And we work together every single day. So that'll be a very interesting show. Hopefully we'll do some more of those, spouses working together, partners working together. I mean, that's very unique today. But you know what? I think it's becoming more of a commonplace when you have husband and wives and partners and spouses or whatever, all working together from home. Of course, everyone's working from home today. And that wasn't really the thing 20 years ago. We've been working for ourselves forever. So it's a very interesting life that we've had. And we've had very interesting experiences, and we go back and forth a lot. So there's going to be a lot of good shows coming on. So definitely subscribe to the Talking eBay YouTube channel, and also subscribe to this podcast that you're listening to, whatever you're listening to on your local podcast channel. And if you're enjoying my show, please let me know. Shoot me an email or give me a feedback or a star, however you're listening to me. I'm not really sure how that works on the podcast end of it. I'm still new at the podcast thing, so I'm just still learning. So yes, we're going to definitely have some shows. I'm going to have her on. We're going to try to do shows more often together and go back and forth. And you're going to really hear the ins and outs of working together, all different kinds of businesses. And you're going to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it's going to be some damn good radio. So definitely tune in for that. Hopefully we're going to do them first of 2024 in the beginning. We'll try to get our first show in together. It'll be like a 45-minute show, I believe. We'll really get into introducing ourselves, what we do, and what parts of the business that we do and how we handle it. She does a lot of the end of the business part of it. She does a lot of the emails. She does all the shipping. She knows how to handle all that, the bookwork, the taxes, all that kind of stuff. I do more technical. So together you get a really good mix of both of us, and hopefully you'll learn something, and you can ask us questions. Definitely go to talkingebay23@gmail.com and ask us a question from there. And if we like your question, we'll put it on the show, and we'll give you a shout out. So definitely check that out. That's talkingebay23@gmail.com. So that's really just a good way to do that. So definitely, let us know if you want to see the husband and wife show together. Let me know. And I definitely will. I think you'll get a kick out of it, and we'll do several podcasts of that show, because I think it's unusual to have someone working and living together, okay, for like 38 years and working together almost every single day, and that's unheard of today. People don't do that today. I don't think people really do that in general because it's unusual. But we really enjoy each other's company, and we like challenging ourselves in business. And that's really what it is. So you really get a good look of, how the team works together. One person does this, the other person does that. We communicate. I'm guilty of not communicating as much as I should. Like the watch thing. Yeah, I should have asked her, what do you think about this? Sometimes she just really knows like the deep dive of the certain keywords, because eBay is very keyword specific. I'm telling you, it's stupid. I'm telling you, you could put iPhone 14 Pro Max 64 gig, and if you don't do it right exactly, there'll be a bunch of them that just don't come up. It's just stupid. I don't know why they do that. It's like it doesn't pick up like, okay, here's an iPhone. The reason why it does that, because it's really giving you exactly what you're asking for, versus saying, okay, there's a bunch of these, and then there's a bunch of these like that, and maybe you didn't put the right word in. So here's some other ones as well. And it doesn't work that way. You really got to be very specific with the keywords. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good experience. So definitely tune into that on our show with the husband and wife, or I'm not sure what they're going to call it. We'll see. And so everything else has been doing well. I've been very happy with the sales this year. It's been picking up quite a bit. I've been listing a lot more. It's always easy to buy. Now, how many of you out there go out there and buy and buy and buy and don't list a lot? It's a very common thing. You're not alone. There's a lot of people out there who buy a ton of stuff and don't list it. And I'll tell you why that happens, because you get the thrill. There's an excitement. When you find something, you're so excited. You just keep, let me get some more stuff. Let me get some more stuff. And before you know it, you're always buying and buying and buying, and you get a crap full of stuff. So when you sell stuff, that kind of like changes. You got to do the research, you got to do the work, you got to take the photos, you got to make the description. Even though I'm using AI now, the AI description thing is awesome. If you haven't tried that out, check out the last podcast about using AI. It's freaking awesome. It really is. I mean, it just pulls it up beautiful. You don't have to type a thing. It just comes right up. I love that. And I think that's what it is. People are just convinced of just buying and buying and buying. It's because you get the adrenaline rush. You're excited. Oh, I got this, I got that. You go out every Saturday and you're buying stuff, and at the yard sale, and you're doing an estate sale, and you're buying an auction. And before you know it, you got a house full of stuff and $1,000 credit card bill, or spend a ton of money, and it's just sitting here. And I'm just as guilty. I used to be guilty all the time. So we try to list as much as we can, because we want to get the stuff on. There's no sense of it just sitting around the house. It's just stupid. So get it on, get it listed, and make sure you don't overbuy, because it's so easy to get caught up in that. One time we were doing, maybe about 10 years ago, Harley Davidson shirts were huge. They were hot. So don't forget, things go in and go out. So if you buy all the stuff and do this death pile thing and put it away, it might not be worth the same anymore. This is what's bad about eBay. You got to be careful. So if you buy something, put it on, because in 6 months or a year, it could be worth nothing. And you got to realize that, because things have ebbs and flows. Things change, go up and down. Prices change. So you have to make sure that you're out there and you find something that's worth a certain amount of money. Don't think you're going to hold on to it like Beanie Babies and make a fortune, because what happened with that? Now they're worth a quarter. So don't do that. Get it on, get it listed, and get it sold. Do the right research and make sure you get it on. So a lot of times I was very guilty. So we were buying these Harley Davidson shirts, buying and buying and buying. I must have had 20 cases, like, small cases, like those banker boxes, right? And I had like 20 of them. And each one of them probably had 25, 30, 40 shirts in them. It was a ton of them. And I'm saying to myself, what am I doing? Why do I have all these shirts here when they should be selling for 25, $30 a piece? I'm sitting on these shirts. I said, let's get these things on. And I got them all on. But it was luckily it was starting to trend down. They were like $25, $30 a piece when I bought them. They were down to like $10 when I was selling them. Why? I waited too long. They started going out of favor. They started getting not as popular anymore. People didn't care. So don't get caught up in that because you can lose your shirt. You got to realize, you buy something, it's like, oh, this is really cool. Let me put it away. I'll get to it later. And later never comes. And then because you keep buying the next round and the next thing, and 6 months later, that's really it's not gonna be worth the same. It's gonna change. Things constantly change. You'll be surprised how fast that goes. Because if you're doing your research out on the field, and you find the Black & Decker blender, let's say, a vintage one that's chrome from the 50s, that's worth, okay, so let's say, for instance, okay, that stuff could be exempt because anything vintage and old can hold its value a little bit longer because it's old. But something like a t-shirt that's like not that old, right? But it's in favor. Beanie Babies, right? They're in favor. Like things rotate, so you got to kind of ride those waves. Antique things is a different story. Vintage, really old vintage things, 25, 30 years old. Okay, that's okay. Anything antique, you can get away with that stuff because there's not a lot around. But when it comes to like, stuff that's 10 years old, stuff like that, the people are in favor for electronics, especially because they can come in and out so quickly. Definitely do not wait because you just get stuck. Some things can go up, yes, but for the most part, the majority of things do go down. It's just the way it goes. Things all the time. It happens all the time. Any kind of toy, even toys, you got to be careful of. Sometimes, Legos, you got to be careful of. Don't overpay. Electronics, you got to be careful of because it's just weird what's going on with electronics now. Because right now, vintage electronics are really hot. Okay, people are paying a lot of money for old cameras, and not even that old. They're like maybe 5, 6, 7 years old. 20 megapixel cameras, 15 megapixel cameras. The good cameras back in the day, they were worth $200-300. You can pick them up at a yard sale for like $5 and get $75-100 for them today. People like old tech, and I'll tell you why they like old tech, because sometimes the phones get complicated. They don't want to load up their phones full of photos, and you really can't buy these cameras anymore. You got to buy a high-end digital camera or a more expensive camera versus you can pick up a nice digital, a nice Sony Cyber whatever for like $80 on eBay, and it does like 20 megapixel. It's perfect, 20 megapixel photo size. It's just perfect, and that stuff trends all the time. That's always selling. Old film cameras, people love retro film now. Film is big now, so 35 millimeter black and white. People like old school. Old school is trending now, so definitely. But that's today. That might not be a year from now. A year from now, they could be all junk. So I get them, I list them, and hopefully, and they've been selling through pretty good. So I have no issues with that. So definitely do not hold on to your tech. If you hold on to your tech, you lose your shirt. Don't hold on to anything that lets you really, really know. Old coins, really old antique cars, old toys from the like tin toys, right? Or the old toys from the 50s and 40s. Those are always going to be worth money. You know what I mean? I've sold fire trucks. I've had one time I picked up a beautiful, really nice tin Ferris wheel. It was maybe from the 50s or 40s. I think I paid like $40 at a yard sale. It was worth $250. Took me a little bit of time to sell it, but it was nice. Took a little bit of time to pack it because it was kind of big. But stuff like that is worth money. So that's okay to hold on to and price it high because there aren't a lot out there. If there's not a lot out there, you can get more money. You can command more money if there's not a lot of them out there, or if they're old vintage tin toys. Tin toys are worth a lot of money. So don't be afraid to invest a little bit in old vintage toys like that. Even some old Tonka trucks. I had a beautiful old fire truck. Beautiful fire truck I got at a yard sale. I think I paid, I don't know, maybe $20. It sold for like 125. And they were beautiful. I had great photos. There was no videos back then. They weren't doing it. It was about maybe 6-7 years ago. And it did really, really well. So look for you can do that. It's okay. But things that you find old phones. I found it was a good story. I was online and someone said, "Oh, I'm selling them my old retro cell phones back in the day. Remember the old flip phones? I don't know if you were around them, or the old Starlight phones. They were like flip phones. They would open up and you would make a phone call. So lady had one and says, "Oh, I have a flip phone in a box for free. Come pick it up." I said, "Oh, cool." She was in my local area, so I went to go pick it up. It was an old brick phone. Now, if you don't know what the brick phone is, just Google brick phone on eBay. It was an old brick phone with the charger. It worked. It booted up. It started. I don't know if it really. I think it can work. It uses analog technology. It doesn't use the digital, but it's really cool. Back in the day, that's what they had. These phones were like $2,000, $3,000. They don't make them anymore. They're really cool. I sold that phone for $225. I got it for free because I did the research. I went online. I knew what they were. I know that kind of tech doesn't go out of favor because there aren't any around. Everybody threw them away or recycled them or just, got rid of them. So, keep your eyes open, do your research, check out Facebook, go to yard sales. Just be careful not to get caught in the trap of overbuying and getting stuck and not listing, because everyone say, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch of stuff and I'll sell it later. Don't do that. If you buy it this week, sell it, get it online next week, then go out and buy again. Then list it and go out and buy again and then list it, because you'll be surprised. It's so easy to buy, but it's hard to list. You know what I mean? You can pick up like 50 things in a day, and it could take you 2 weeks to list 50 things if you're doing this part-time. So, get it done, take your time and get it listed. So that's my advice to you. Definitely don't get caught up in that, because if you do, it won't be pretty. It will not be pretty. So when you buy things, just be careful. So what else do I have to share with you this week? Let me think. The holidays are coming. The end of the year is coming. And let me do maybe one more show for the end of the year. And then next year, we'll be doing the couple show, my wife and myself. And we'll be talking about business. We'll be talking about ideas. And we'll talk about just strategies to grow your business together as a team. You could be a husband and wife. Doesn't matter if you're partners. Doesn't matter who you are. It's about teamwork. When you work for yourself, and it's good to have team. It's good to have someone help you, because you can't do everything by yourself. As you grow your business, you're going to need help. You're going to need people to help you. You're going to need someone to help take the photos, someone to answer emails. As you grow your business, you can't do it all. You don't want to fail. You don't want to get burnt out. You can't take everything on yourself. So if you have someone to help you, you have your child, teach them. Let them learn how to be an entrepreneur. Let them learn how to list something. Let them learn to sell something. Let them keep the money. Let them get excited about it, because that's how you build up entrepreneurship. People get excited. The kid has their old, let's say, baseball cards. I know they're not worth a lot today, but we put a bunch of them together. Maybe they'll sell them for $10 or $15. They get to keep the money. You teach them how to ship, teach them how it costs, teach them everything, because today that's what's missing in schools. And if you ask me personally, is just that business, that working for you yourself and understanding money and how the world really works. It's so important to learn that education that we didn't have as a child. We didn't have that as kids. We played every day after school. We weren't selling anything, but some people did. Some people had lemon. I remember doing a lemonade stand when I was a little kid. I think everybody did that lemonade stand thing, when they were a kid. And I think we charged like a dime. I don't know, whatever it was. And it was kind of cool. That was fun. But, as they get older, teach them the value of a dollar. Teach them, you don't want this toy anymore. You don't want this Star Wars toy, let's say. Okay, let's do the research. It's worth about $100 today. Let's say you have an old Star Wars toy. That's another thing that Star Wars is vintage, and that stuff still does really well. So that's another one of those toys that holds its value. So you just kind of know when to hold them and when to show them, right? Like the Kenny Rogers song. So definitely look into that, and then just do the research, and you can see you can get an idea on trending. But definitely, if you have clothes, and believe it or not, actually some clothes. I know these people from Las Vegas. And they have a show on YouTube as well. And they sell a lot of vintage clothes for a lot of money. I mean, ridiculous money. So you have to know what kind of clothes you're looking for. Vintage, Y2K, all that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of cool vintage things out there. So definitely keep your eyes open and do the research, and don't overbuy, and make sure you get it listed, because you don't want a death pile, because a death pile will be the death of you. And you don't want that, because you don't want any trouble with stuff hanging around the house all day and just constantly going out and going broke. So don't do that. So take your time, list everything, and get it on, because what you don't list today, you'll have tomorrow. Remember that. What you don't list today, you'll have tomorrow, and you're going to have it sitting in boxes, in bins. I know people who have garages full of stuff. They end up at storage warehouses full of stuff, and before you know it, you're getting rid of it because it's too big to manage. So that's why it's so important to have help. And the next podcast, we'll talk about working with people, and should you get a VA, a virtual assistant? Should you hire somebody? Maybe you're there, maybe you're not there. maybe you are. You never know. So just let me know. So if you have any questions at all, let me know. Send me an email at talkingebay23@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to answer those questions for you. I'll also go to my YouTube channel, Talking eBay on YouTube, and subscribe. And also check out all of the podcasts, and you can ask questions there as well. I appreciate your time. Hope you had a great day, and I'll see you at the next Talking eBay.